Hello guys and welcome back. Today I have an apology to make. Actually today we were about to create that Air Force, the thing that, pushed us up into that box. But a little bit earlier I watched the blueprints in here that I used for making that Air Force, and I saw that it was a little bit hard for a beginner to follow up, and it was, I think it was a little bit too much for a beginner to understand and learn. So this is a beginner course. We don't want to, make a mess out of it. And I don't want to make, a video that my students won't understand. So I just decided to not to do this one. All right. But because, I love my students and I want to teach them something new every time. So I decided instead of creating this, we will create a jumping box or a jumping spring, I should say, which will move us into that cube in here. So let me start and you'll see what will happen, right? So we've got a coin to collect, and after that, you see that we had that Air Force that we were about to create, but I think that was too much. So I decided to create that one. We've got a slope, and then we'll get into the cube, and yeah, it will push us up into the cube. All right. And also you can see that what we will do in the next videos. By the way, this is the project that I have finished. All right, this is not our project. So you can see that we've got the platforms in here that we will make in the, I think in the next video we will make them. And also if I move to the other side of the castle, you can see that we've got a trap in here that ouch that is a trap and pushes us down in here. And you can see that in here we have got, we had that Air Force, but I think the Air Force, it was a little bit easy and it was not more challenging. But you can see that with our boxes in here, if I get up on it and then get into one of them, and you can see that it is like bringing much of a challenge into the game, and it is, I don't know, it is very nice. I think so. That's why we are gonna create the boxes in here, and we will not create the Air Force because it is too much for a beginner's course. So guys, let's start. Okay, so first of all, what we want to do is to go to the files that I will attach to this lecture, or I will attach it to the project files of this course. And then what we want to do, actually let me go to the assets folder in here and then bring all of these three into our contents browser. And then what we want to do, let me see, auto generate collision is fine. Just make sure that the material is do not create material and the import textures is not selected, and then hit import all to import all of the three, and then close that one. And you can see that we've got an empty box, a slope, and a spring. So another thing that we want to do is go to the sounds in here, sounds folder, and then bring the spring sound into here. And after that, close that one, and let's start creating our spring. So what we want to do is we want to create a spring in here. So how do we do that? Let's go to the blueprints folder in here, and then right click and create a new blueprint class, choose actor, and then type bp, what should we call it, bp jump box, maybe BP jump box. I think that name is, a little bit good. All right, just open it up and then drag it. Where did I put it? Oh, drag it next to the map one. And then what we want to do is to add component and then type static mesh, and then call that one empty box, because we want to add our empty box into here. And what we want to do is in here select the empty box again, and bring it up into here. Oh, actually this looks a little bit bigger than what we thought, so just make sure that to make it, I don't know, maybe 0.35 would do. Yeah, I think that is good. Yeah, that is good. So what we want to do is compile and save, and what we want to do is, first of all, just let's make the material of it a little bit nicer. Right now it does not look any bit nice. So what did we have? Let me type yellow, make it yellow, yeah, like the other one. I think this is cool. And what we want to do is to add a component. Make sure nothing is selected, add a component, and then type box collision. All right, and then bring the box collision a little bit up, and just make sure that it's not touching any side. And actually, let me make the box collision a little bit smaller, just for no reason, but just make it a little bit smaller. All right, and what we want to do next is to add component and then type static mesh again, and this time what we want to call it is spring, because we want to add the spring to here. Then search for spring again and bring the spring into here as well. Why everything is so big? Just make it 0.25. Yeah, that is big as well. Just make it 0.1. This is so big, I don't know why, but everything is so big. All right, just make it 0.07. I think that is a little bit nicer. Okay, so then what we want to do is compile and then save, and we will go to the event graph to create our codes. But before that, let's change the material of the spring as well. Make it red, if we have red. Yeah, make it red, and I think it's nice. Just go to the event graph, and then what we want to type is we want to do something like this: other actor. On the event actor begin overlap, just grab the other actor and make sure that it is the ball cast to bp ball pound. All right, and then what do you want to do? Grab the spring in here, and then just bring the spring a little bit down. Just make the spring like this, right? Maybe bring it down to, yeah, I think, or maybe a little bit more than this. No, not that much. Maybe we'll bring it down to 35 units. Yeah, I think something like this would work. All right, just make sure that to make it 0, 0, 0 again. So what we want to do is bring the spring into here, and then we want to say move component to, where do you want to move the component to? We want to bring it down on the z-axis about -30 or 35. Which one should we use? Let's use the 35, and we will change it later if you want to. So right now let's test it out if the spring goes down or not. All right, so compile and then save, and where should we put it? All right, just for the sake of testing, I'm gonna put it in here. All right, bring the BP jump box into here and go to the assets, bring our slope into here, and the slope is a little big as well. I should have created those a little bit smaller. Make sure that this is selected and make it 0.5, and then put it next to our box. And I think right now it is a little bit bigger than the box, so actually let's go and make the box a little bit bigger, because right now I don't think that our ball will even fit into that small box. All right, let's go and make the box a little bit bigger. Just grab the box and grab the empty box, and then make sure it is 0.5, right? And then also the spring, make sure it is 0.1, and also make sure that the box in here just just grab it up a little bit. And yeah, I think it is good. We can also, make the box a little bit bigger, but no, I think this is fine because our ball will be able to, go through this. All right. So what we want to do is just compile and then save, and then let's test our spring. Our spring is in here, then it will go down to here, I think. Yeah, I think this is fine. All right, just Control Z and then compile and save, and yeah, let's test it out right now. Right now you can see that it is, they are both next to each other and it looks a little bit better. Just make sure that to make the slope on the x-axis a little bit bigger. Maybe something like this should work, right? And let's test it out. All right, we should change the material on the slope as well. Oh, it's not getting in. What is happening? All right, so we did not we did not change the collisions on the box, on the slope, and on the spring as well. So let's see what are the collisions on them. First of all, let's see the slope. I don't think that the slope has any problems. I think we could create something for it. All right, just delete the one that has been created by default, and you see that in here we can create some kind of convex collisions for it. Just hit apply and it's gonna create something like this, which is, yeah, I think it is just fine. All right, and save it. And also what we want to do is create one for the empty box. So let's see if the empty box has any collision. Yeah, I think it is just fine. And then let's see one for the spring. The spring has a collision like this, which is not good. Just delete it. And then what do we want to do for the spring? We don't want any complex collision. We just want something like a box. So go to collision in here and select add simplified collision. All right, something like this will be created, and just make sure that make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think this one will be fine. All right, I want it to be a little bit smaller than the spiral thing so that the ball can be seen as if it is gone into the spring. All right, just save it and then let's test it out again. And nope, it is not getting it. What is the problem? Let's go to the box in here. I think, yeah, that's what I thought. If you bring the box collision of the empty box up, you can see that it has a collision on the top as well, so that the ball cannot get in. If it is like this, the ball cannot get in. So what do we want to do? Just delete that one, and we will want to create a collision for it as well. So right now if I hit apply, you can see that it's gonna make a collision, but some of the parts are going through the box, which I don't want. And by the way, you can see that number 4 in here. If we drag those, right, drag the collisions, you can see that it has created 4 different collisions for the box. All right, this is because of the number of the hull count in here, right? So just delete those, delete the 4 of them. And what we want to do, because this box has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, we want to make sure that it is 5, not 4. All right, just hit apply, and then yeah, you can see that now we've got different types of box collisions for each side. All right, and nothing goes through the box. All right, and yeah, everything is just fine. And we have got also one of them for the down part, I think. Yeah, okay, hit save, and then let's test it out. I think this time finally it should work. Um, yes, it is working. It's getting inside the box, but you can see that our spring moved a little bit too fast. But first of all, let me change the material for this. Just make it white. Yeah, that is much better. You can see that the spring goes a little bit fast. All right, it goes down a little bit fast, so we don't want that. Look at that, it's going too fast. No, what I want to do is just close those ones, and where is it? Go to the event graph in the BP jump box, and then what do you want to do? You see that move component too that we created that moved the spring down. All right, we want to in here it has an overtime. This overtime defines how much time will it take to, you know, move the spring to the down part. Right, just make sure to make it something like 1 second. All right, and then hit compile and save. All right, so we just made the time for the spring to come down in 1 second. Compile and then save, and let's see if it works. And yeah, it's going so slowly right now. I think that is just fine. All right, and what we want to do is to make sure that after the spring goes down it comes up so fastly. All right, so what do we want to do? After the spring goes down, we want to bring it up again. And where do you want to bring the spring up to? Right now it is on the location 000, so we want to make sure that when it goes down then it comes to 000 again with a lot of speed. All right, so that it pushes the ball to the upside. All right, hit compile and then save, and go to the event graph, and then again bring the spring into here and then say move component to. Right, and this time we want to move it to 000 again and connect those. Just make sure that reduce the time in here. Right, make it something like 0.05. Yeah, I think that will be much better. Compile and then save, and then let's test it out. Yes, it is working. It's working just fine. So right now just let me go to the you see that you see that little arrow behind the ball. Just let me go into here. I think the slope is not that much sloppy. And by the way, if you want to create another slope, you can always use the geometry tools that we learned to make a slope like this. And then go to here, you see that little arrow under the ball. Let's make sure that to remove it, go to the roll ball, go to blueprints, and then BP, just select the arrow and select hidden in game. All right, so we will not be bothered with that. All right, and let's go, and yeah, I think that works just fine. Let me select both of them and then move them into here and then rotate them. Right, and just move them to this side and see if we can jump onto that area. Right, so let me play. Ouch. Open the door and dun, dun. Yeah, it is working just fine. Right, and I forgot to add the sound to here. So you remember I gave you an exercise, so let's do the exercise now. All right, if you haven't done it like me, let's do it right now. And also we have to add a sound to that spring. Right, so let's do it. For the spring, what we want to do is to go to the assets folder and then to the sound. And where is the sound that we just added? It was that spring sound. Yeah, you see that? It was this. So just create a cue for it, and then maybe just reduce the sound a little bit. Make it 0.25. No, not 25, 0.5. Yeah, I think that one looks just fine. And then save it. So what we want to do is go to the BP jump box, and where should we put it? When the spring goes down and before it gets up, yeah, we want to play it in here so that when it plays and then it will go up. All right, so we want to play sound at location. So which location do you want to play the sound in? We want to play it in get world location of the spring. All right, and then put it down in here and connect those like this. So let's see if it works. We did not add the sound again. I just remembered. I don't know why I keep forgetting this. It's not even a big deal. So let's see, where was that? Yeah, the spring queue. Compile and then save and then play it. And yeah. Yes, it is working just fine. And oh, I did not add the sound for this. So let me select it, and then we can either go to the blueprint in here or edit the blueprint in here, and also we can edit the blueprint in here. They're all the same, so just pick one. And where do we want to put that? I think after everything we can just put it in there. So where is it? Where is the healing sound? Yeah, that's it. Create a queue for it, and then go to the BP healing bush and play sound at location, and then we want to type healing queue, and then the location should be get world location of the default scene root. Yeah, that's just fine. Compile and then save. And also what I want to test is to see if I can move from one box to another one. Just grab the box, bring it up, bring it to this side. I think that is just fine. Maybe a little bit more and a little bit more like this. Yeah, let me play it and see if I can do it. that's that's a challenge for me. All right, and let me go up. Oh, no, it is not giving. Oh, we can see the spring in here. I think what we should do, go to the jump box in here and then make sure that to move it up with 10 units. All right, just 10 units. Okay, and so right now it won't be shown in here. And also we want to go to the event graph and change that one, because we moved this one up. We want to get to the same position and make it 10. All right, and let's see. Right now I think right now it will push us up even harder. All right, and let's get into it. Yeah, that is working really better than the last time. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and in the next video we will create the platforms in here. All right, we will create them. If you have any questions, just let me know, ask me, and I will solve the problem for you. So guys, until the next video, stay safe and ciao.